Alrighty, so let's break down what's been going on here with ES lately and what's next and what to expect here going forward. So right here on my screen here on my chart, I've kind of laid out essentially the range that ES has been in for almost a month now, about since the end of June, so just over about 20 days now. ES has been in a pretty clear mode 2 range, and that range has been from 74.83 to 76.11. And it's quite clear, especially when you zoom out of this range, right? You can see the multiple support bounces we've had here at 74.83, as well as you can see how it seems that the top end range resistance here has been around 76.11, with price, putting in a couple of failed breakouts and ultimately just getting back into trading this range. So ultimately, we've just been inside this massive range from 74.83 to 76.11. There's been a couple of important pivots within this range, one of them being 75.34. There's been multiple touches here across the 20 days or so, as well as 75.75, and we'll get into why this is important, and ultimately why the failure of this level is kind of what caused the little bit of a sell-off we had Thursday night into Friday early morning, where we ultimately put in a little bit of a reversal on Friday, up to 75.34, back tested it and started fading down. So 75.75, the reason that was an important spot is it caused the failure of this spot was what caused the sell-off we had. So 75.75 was a low we had set around here around Wednesday. It was a pretty significant low at this spot. And, we tried to put in a failed breakdown here on Thursday afternoon. We did sort of put in a very minute failed breakdown. It went about, it flushed about 2 points and then went about 5 points or so above the level. And then ultimately we lost the shelf here, and a failure of failed breakdown is what triggers the sell algo to turn on. And that's essentially what happened. We ended up kind of grinding down all night Thursday into Friday early morning, where we essentially hit all the way back down to our mode 2 support range. Now we put in a nice trap here on Friday. There were a couple of ways to play it. You could have played just the level reclaim of this 74.83 spot by looking for price to flush, reclaim back with some nice strong momentum, which we got a little bit after the opening candle, or opening bell, I should say. You can see here on this candle, it was pretty strong momentum we got. Or the other way to play it was we also had set an overnight low here at 74.91, and so a sweep and recovery of this level would have been actionable as well. And so we swept 74.91 down to 74.73. You can wait for both 83 and this 91 spot to both reclaim, and then that gives you added conviction that potentially shorts are now off sides, and we may get a little bit of momentum and a short cover up until at least 75.34, which was the first back test spot. So we kind of hit it on pretty early, actually, on Friday, and then from there it was just pretty much some OPEX chop for the rest of the session. So what's next? What's now? Going forward, what to expect here? So, ultimately, like I said, we are going to be pretty range bound here. So really, while, there's a lot of action going on and it may seem that, hey, are we falling? Are we rallying at times? Ultimately, everything within this range is just range bound actions. So there's no real takeaways until we're able to leave this range for good. And so for now, the main kind of back test level up from here is 75.75, since that is the first shelf of support we lost on Thursday that caused the sell. So that needs to back test now. And ultimately, bulls are going to have to regain control here at 75.75 for us to see any sort of interim control back for bulls. If not, sellers do have some interim control underneath 75.75, and they're going to try to look to see if they can flush for once and for good this mode 2 range support and start to get down. So in terms of things to watch for this week, is it going to be, can sellers actually flush this mode 2 range support and start getting traction lower? And for bulls, the main objective is going to be, can they back test 75.75, eventually reclaim it and start gaining some traction upwards to potentially break out of this range here above 75.75 to 76.11, and then break out ultimately above. So that is the main agenda for both bulls and bears this week. We will see what happens. As always, no predicting, no guessing, no crystal balls. Just follow whatever price path chooses, and just react level to level, one move at a time. And we will see how the week plays out.